In 2019, a case exploded into public consciousness that forced Americans to ask a difficult question. Can wealth and power place someone above the law? This is the story of Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm Jeffrey Edward Epstein, and my residence address is 6100 Red Hook Boulevard in Virgin Islands.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes.
The files that bear his name and what they reveal about justice in America.
Today we are producing more than 3 million pages.
I was unaware that I was going to be alone with him. I thought I was going to die.
I was 14 years old.
I was 16 years old.
I was 16.
17. 14 years old.
This is me.
This was me.
This is me.
When I met Jeffrey Epstein.
This is me when I met Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1953. He attended Cooper Union and NYU, though he never completed a degree. By the 1970s, he was teaching mathematics and physics at the prestigious Dalton School in Manhattan, a position that, according to public records, led to his introduction to the world of finance. In 1976, Epstein began working at Bear Stearns, one of Wall Street's major investment banks. 4 years later, he left to establish his own financial consulting firm, J. Epstein & Co., reportedly managing money exclusively for billionaires. But Epstein's true sources of wealth remained opaque. He owned a private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, a sprawling estate in Palm Beach, a Manhattan townhouse valued at tens of millions, and a ranch in New Mexico. He traveled by private jet. He cultivated relationships with presidents, princes, academics, and celebrities. By all outward appearances, Jeffrey Epstein was a fixture of elite society. But beneath that carefully constructed image, federal prosecutors would later allege was a decades-long pattern of abuse. In March 2005, the Palm Beach Police Department received a complaint from the parents of a 14-year-old girl. She alleged that she had been paid to give Epstein a massage at his estate, and that the encounter had turned sexual. What began as a single report quickly expanded. Over the course of a year, investigators identified dozens of alleged victims, many of them minors from working-class backgrounds. In 2007, federal prosecutors prepared a 53-page indictment charging Epstein with sex trafficking minors across state lines, a crime that could have resulted in a life sentence. But that indictment was never filed. Instead, in a move that would haunt the case for years, federal prosecutors entered into a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein's defense team. Under the deal, brokered in part by then U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta, Epstein pled guilty to 2 state charges: soliciting prostitution from a minor and procuring a person under 18 for prostitution. He was sentenced to 18 months in the Palm Beach County Jail, but was allowed to leave on work release 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. The agreement also granted immunity to any potential co-conspirators. Alleged victims were not informed of the deal until after it was finalized, a violation, a federal judge later ruled, of the Crime Victims' Rights Act. Epstein served 13 months. He registered as a sex offender, and for more than a decade, the case largely faded from public view. In November 2018, the Miami Herald published a groundbreaking investigative series titled Perversion of Justice. Reporter Julie K. Brown tracked down more than 60 alleged victims and meticulously documented the 2008 plea deal. The series reignited public outrage. On July 6, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey after returning from Paris. Federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York charged him with sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. He was detained without bail at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. His trial was set for 2020. On August 10, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his cell. The New York City medical examiner ruled the death a suicide by hanging. The case against him died with him. But the investigation into his alleged network of enablers and accomplices continued. When people refer to the Epstein Files, they are typically referencing several categories of documents. Sealed and unsealed court records from a 2015 civil defamation lawsuit filed by Virginia Giuffre against Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate. These documents, released in stages between 2019 and 2024, contain depositions, witness statements, and allegations, many of them unproven in court. Flight logs from Epstein's private aircraft documented the names of passengers over a span of years. These logs became public through court filings and Freedom of Information Act requests. Address books, calendars, and personal records were recovered during searches of Epstein's properties. It is critically important to understand what these documents are and what they are not. Being named in a document does not constitute proof of wrongdoing. Flight logs show travel, they do not show intent or knowledge. Allegations in civil depositions are statements made under oath, but they are not verdicts. In the years since Epstein's death, names mentioned in these files have been the subject of intense public speculation. Some individuals have been accused, others have categorically denied knowledge of Epstein's crimes. Still others were likely unaware of the activities occurring outside their view. What remains true is this: the legal standard for accountability is evidence, not association. The Epstein case forces a broader question about the American legal system. Does wealth buy different justice? The 2008 plea agreement has been described by legal scholars as highly unusual. Federal prosecutors had evidence, they had victims willing to testify, and they had charges prepared. Yet the case was resolved with minimal prison time and broad immunity for others. This is not the first time such questions have been raised. Throughout American history, high-profile cases involving wealth and influence have prompted debate about equal treatment under the law. Public defenders often handle hundreds of cases with minimal resources. Elite defense teams can deploy investigators, experts, and legal strategies unavailable to most defendants. The Epstein case became a symbol not just of one man's crimes, but of systemic disparities. In 2020, Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested and charged with conspiracy and sex trafficking. In December 2021, she was convicted on 5 of 6 counts. She was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. Her conviction represented a measure of accountability. But for many victims and observers, it did not answer the larger question: how many others were involved, and will they ever face justice? Few cases have generated as much online speculation as the Epstein case. In the absence of full transparency, rumors have filled the void. Some theories are grounded in legitimate questions, others are baseless and spread for political or ideological reasons. Misinformation spreads because it satisfies a psychological need, the desire for clear villains and clear answers in a complex world. But truth is rarely that simple. Responsible journalism requires verification. It requires distinguishing between what is alleged and what is proven. It requires resisting the urge to turn every name into a headline. Reporters like Julie K. Brown spent years building cases on documentation, testimony, and corroboration. That standard matters, not just for fairness, but for credibility. In a media landscape driven by clicks and outrage, patience and rigor are rare, but they are necessary.